Got a very special mail day to here that I'm very excited about here. Um, so, to start with a little bit of background, you may have heard of the great Stephen Fleming. He is one of the foremost cricket card experts in the world, has a tremendous collection, and he also helps others with their collection. So, Stephen lives in Australia near Melbourne, where I used to live. And he was nice enough to get on a call with me and just talk a little bit about cards. And he's probably forgotten more about cricket cards than I'll ever know. So getting some time with him was awesome. And then afterwards, he actually offered to help me with my collection a little bit. And I told him a little bit about what I was looking for. And this is a package I just got from him. And I'm really excited about what he sent me. And obviously, I paid him for these. Stephen, really appreciate the cards and for kind of walking me through this. So one of my projects, the one I'm probably most passionate about, is I'm trying to get one rookie card. Just consider this a first year card of each of the Hall of Famers. And one of the cool things about the Cricket Hall of Fame is there aren't that many Hall of Famers. So in Baseball Hall of Fame, you're looking at 330 men in there. In the Cricket Hall of Fame, it's actually less than 100. So you got, I think, 96 men in the Hall of Fame. And I started from scratch and just started trying to get the earliest cards I can find or figure out. And I'm actually up to 80. And that's in part due to 3 new additions that I got here. So this is a card I've been looking for a while. It's a 1958 Giant Brand Licorice Bob Simpson. So at the time, Bob Simpson was only 22. One of the really cool things about this set, and if you actually look up Breakout Cards channel, actually there was a really long, really awesome interview with Stephen Fleming that I think Ryan Nolan did with them maybe 6 months ago. And if you look at that interview, you'll actually see Stephen shows this set here. There's 32 different cards in this set, but there's actually 5 different color backgrounds. So each card has 5 different color backgrounds, orange being one of them. So Stephen's actually working toward the whole set of 160 cards, which is all 32 and all 5 colors. But for me, I was happy just to get my Bob Simpson checked off my list. So I now have a Bob Simpson rookie, which is super exciting. And not all these are in the greatest condition, but that's okay. Stephen gave me very fair prices, especially when the condition wasn't perfect. So there's my 1958 Bob Simpson. Next up, I'd been looking for a 1948 Jim Laker, and this is the Kitties. So this is a pretty famous set. A lot of these have 2 little tiny holes from where the staple was used in the publication. But I really like the set. They have nice little caricatures drawn up. I've already got the Bradman and a couple other cards, but I've been looking for the Laker for a while and just couldn't find it for some reason. So Steven sent me this, and these were all out of his doubles. So the fact that he has this many doubles or extras just shows you how big and awesome his core collection is. So there's my Jim Laker and my Sunny Crust Bob Willis. So again, I've got most of my rookies from this set, but I hadn't been able to find the Bob Willis. These cards are notoriously very ugly looking because for whatever reason, they printed these on some kind of stock with some kind of coating that just turned yellow and kind of nasty. So this one actually looks fairly good. You'll see a lot of them that are like mostly yellow with a little bit of white spots. This is kind of the opposite. So there's a Bob Willis. So there's my Bob Willis rookie. As far as I know, this is his only earliest card from 1974. So my 3 new rookies, which is awesome. So that was kind of the first part of the package. Then one of my other rookies, I actually have a copy of this, but Stephen was willing to send me this one in not very nice condition. He actually didn't even charge me for this one because he knows that I collect these. So this is Sidney Barnes, one of the greatest players of the first 40 or 50 years of cricket. Probably underrated. It doesn't get talked about as much as he should, but if you actually read articles about cricket from 1950 or before, his name's going to come up as one of the top 10 players ever. So a really, really, really solid player. And this is his rookie from 1907. Speaking of 1907, there were two Jack Hobbs cards in that set. And it was kind of two variations. They actually have different numbers. So and they call this one like the red writing. So you can see capstan is written in red. This one is the gray writing. But the red writing version of the card, Hobbs is number 72. And then the gray writing, he's number 67. And, just to look at the Sydney Barnes, this is the red writing, number 71. But these are in quite nice condition. And these were an upgrade for me. My other version of this one in particular was not nearly as nice. And, this one has a little bit of staining, a little bit of marks in the back. But if you look at really the shape of it, it's got nice crisp corners, really sharp picture. So I was very, very happy to pick up a couple of those, which they're really like my favorite card that I own. So I was happy to get even nicer version of those. So speaking of Hobbs, got two more cards. This is a 1912 Smiths. What's interesting about this is I have the Frank Woolley from this set. And the Frank Woolley says Smith's Orchestra cigarettes. This one says Albion Gold Flake cigarettes. And what's interesting is I'm pretty sure that all of the Frank Woolleys say Orchestra on the back and all of the Hobbs say Albion Gold Flake on the back. So they must have distributed it such that only certain players were included in different kinds of cigarettes. So I guess if you wanted to complete the whole set, you would have actually had to smoke different kinds of Smith cigarettes in order to get all 50. So I'm not sure if that was just to simplify the printing process or if it was some kind of marketing technique to make people try different cigarettes. I'm really not sure. But anyway, I did not have this card. Really nice. And another 1912. This one is quite rare. I'd never actually seen this before. And Stephen Fleming was telling me a little bit about this set. Apparently the blue front is the much rarer, the blue front with the red back, which this one is. And this is a 1912 Hills, R&J Hill, which again, I did not have any cards from this set. And this one's in pretty nice condition. With the dark borders, you're always going to see the chipping really prevalently, but it's actually kind of a nice relief to see it so you know that someone hasn't colored it in. That happens sometimes. They'd use marker or whatever to color it in. So that's a really, really neat one. I really love collecting Hobbs, but especially his cards from, let's say, pre-1930. So this is, a fifth year. So you got two from his first year, 1907, where he really has a baby face. And you can see he looks quite young in these as well from 1912. So pre-World War I Hobbs, always fun. And then to close out with two CB Fry cards I didn't have. So this is a 1906 Cohen Wienen. I didn't have any cards from this set. Pretty hard to find. Pretty nice condition. CB Fry is fun to collect. One of the greatest multi-sport athletes of all time. He was considered the greatest athlete in all of the England territories while he lived, and played soccer, rugby. He played cricket. I think at one point he had the record for the long jump in England, and he was a sprinter as well, and he could just jump super high. So really, really cool. And this is a card that I had seen, but never actually even saw for sale. And thank you, Stephen, for offering this card to me. It is a 1899 Ogden. I believe this was an Australia issue, but it's the green gravore. I don't even know how you pronounce that word. But it's a kind of a very rare version of CB Fry. You'll actually see this card on eBay, the reproduction version of it. But to see the actual kind of original card, now it did have like a tab here at the bottom that's missing. So this is, not a great condition card, but just one that is very sought after, and I am very just happy to have this card. It's kind of that iconic pose that you'll see CB Fry often in Ogden's cards, especially from this era. But this is my earliest CB Fry. I'm really happy to have a pre-1900 CB Fry. Again, this one's from 1899. So that's my mail day. And yeah, let me know what you think. I got, again, to recap, the Bob Simpson, Laker, and Bob Willis rookies. Got a Barnes and 2 Hobbs rookies. I've got the 2 rare 1912 Hobbs, especially the blue front, and then the 2 CB Fry. Oh, I almost forgot. Serlieri Constantine. He was the greatest West Indies player of the 1920s and 30s. I would say one of the top 2, because you also had George Headley, who was just a very dynamic batter. But Serlieri Constantine was a fantastic all-rounder. So great bowler, also a solid batsman. And he ended up becoming a really important diplomat as well. He doesn't really have any cards from his playing days that are obtainable. There are a couple, but they're like really impossible to find. Like even Stephen was telling me, he's been looking for him. He can't find them himself. So this really is the earliest obtainable Constantine card, which is post-career. This is a 1978 Sportscaster. So just happy to have this in my collection. So at least I have a Constantine card, which I didn't before. Thanks, y'all.